Have you ever fallen into that social media black hole? You know, you pick up your phone for just a second, and when you look up, an entire hour has just vanished. Yeah, you are definitely not alone. Today we're going to dive into the science and really the design behind why these apps are so incredibly hard to put down. Okay, let's just start right here, because this idea is powerful. Think about it. Our deep, fundamental human need to connect with other people has been taken, packaged up, and turned into an app. And comparing it to a drug, that isn't just for shock value. It actually gets to the very heart of how these platforms are designed to make us feel and act. So that feeling, that almost trance-like, endless search, it has a name: dopamine scrolling. And the key part of that definition is the pursuit of novel, entertaining content. See, it's not about finding a specific piece of information. It's a hunt. You're just chasing that next little jolt of something new and interesting. And it's really important not to get this mixed up with its darker cousin, doom scrolling. That's when we get stuck in a loop of seeking out bad news. Dopamine scrolling is different. It's a hunt for a high. You know, that funny video, that amazing photo. The motivation is pleasure, not really panic, even if the end result is the same. Hours just gone.
So the big question is this whole thing an accident or is it intentional? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that's driving all of this, and ask if it was actually designed from the very beginning to be addictive.
Well, experts like addiction psychiatrist Dr. Anna Lemke are incredibly blunt about it. She says, it really is a drug, and it's engineered to be a drug. You see, that's not just an exaggeration. That's a clinical observation from an expert about the intentional way these things are built.
And here it is. This is the core mechanism. It's the exact same psychological trick that makes slot machines in Vegas so addictive: variable rewards. When you pull down to refresh your feed, you might see something amazing, or you might see nothing. It's that unpredictable, powerful maybe that gets our brains hooked and keeps us pulling that lever over and over and over.
So what's the real cost of all this? This lemon analogy explains it perfectly. Imagine your brain's capacity for joy and pleasure is like a fresh lemon in the morning. Healthy things like going for a walk, give it a little squeeze. But a long session of scrolling, that gives the lemon a hard power squeeze, draining it dry. And that is why, after an hour on an app, a simple conversation can suddenly feel kind of dull. The lemon's empty.
And these platforms are packed with features specifically built to exploit that reward system. Infinite scroll? It means there's no natural stopping point. Ever. That pull to refresh gesture? It literally mimics pulling the lever on a slot machine. Every single like, every notification, it's all part of this perfectly tuned ecosystem designed for one thing: to keep you engaged.
And it all comes down to something pretty simple. This isn't a bug, it's the entire business model. We live in what's called the attention economy. In this economy, your focus isn't just a side effect. It is the product that's being sold to advertisers. The longer they can hold your attention, the more valuable it is.
Okay, so we've seen how the engine works. Now let's get real about the price we're paying for all this, because the cost goes way beyond just wasted time.
Just let this number sink in for a second. In 2020, the average user was spending 3 hours a day on social media. 3 hours, every single day. If you do the math, that's over 1,000 hours a year. That's the sheer scale of the time we're talking about.
And for teenagers, whose brains are still developing and are super sensitive to social rewards, the pull is even stronger. Research from Pew found that a staggering 35%, that's more than 1 out of every 3 teens, say they're online almost constantly. Not just a lot, constantly.
Now look at the words being used here to describe problematic social media use: tolerance, withdrawal, conflict, relapse. Do those sound familiar? They should. They are the exact same clinical terms used to diagnose substance addiction. The parallels are just undeniable. And the documented consequences, well, they touch almost every part of our lives. Our ability to focus gets shredded, our real-world friendships and interactions can start to feel less satisfying, and study after study is connecting heavy use to spikes in anxiety, depression, and just plain bad sleep. All right, I know that all sounds pretty intense, maybe even a little bleak. But here's the good news. Understanding the problem is the first step to fixing it. So let's open up the toolkit and talk about how to reclaim your focus and your time. So how do you actually do it? How do you push back against these massive, powerful, brilliantly designed systems? Well, it's not just about having more willpower. It's about being strategic. It's about being intentional. So here's a proven 3-step game plan. Step 1, reduce your usage gradually.
Trying to go cold turkey usually just backfires. Step 2, schedule it. Give yourself specific short windows to scroll. This puts you back in charge. And step 3, and this one is crucial, replace the habit. When you feel that twitchy urge to scroll, have another activity ready to go. Listen to a song, take a quick walk, anything to get a healthier kind of dopamine hit.
And here are some more really practical things you can try today. A dopamine fast. Just one day off can do wonders to reset your brain. Curate your feed like you'd clean your room. Get rid of anything that makes you feel crummy. And seriously, turn off most of your notifications. It's like putting a do not disturb sign on your own mind. Each little change makes it easier to make a better choice.
But in the end, this quote from Alison Bake really just says it all. The best way to combat the pull of the digital world isn't just about fighting with your phone. It's about building a real, offline life that is so rich, so interesting, and so engaging that the digital world just pales in comparison.
So, it all comes down to this. You actually have the power to be the architect of your own digital world, to make it serve you, not the other way around. The only real question left is what's the one small thing you're going to do today to start making that happen.